Hello and welcome. I'm Sara Landon. I am so happy you are all here today for this conversation about the time of the Great Awakening and why this is what you have been preparing for. We're going to have an incredible call today. This is going to be an amazing experience of all of us coming together in this collective energy. And I invite you to open your heart, open your mind, and allow something beautiful, magical, and amazing to happen in this time for you today. So before we begin, I want to introduce you to Sarah Elizabeth, who is part of our incredible Sara Landon team, who has been part of this wisdom and part of the Council's work for quite a while now in all of the courses in the Master's Class program, and is also part of our Sara Landon team. She's an incredible way shower of this wisdom and a leader and a guide in her own right, and I'm so grateful to also call her a dear friend. So, Sarah, are you there?
I am, and I am so appreciative of the opportunity to be here today with you and with everyone who's joined us on the call.
Thank you. We are happy to have you. So if you are new to me, Sara Landon, and you're new to the wisdom of the Council, we're going to start there and just give you a brief overview. And some of you who've maybe been part of this work for a long time, it's fun to just revisit what this is. But I am so grateful and honored that I get to bring to the world the incredible wisdom and teachings of the Council. And if you're new to this, I want to demystify this word called channeling. It's actually a very expansive, loving, beautiful experience, and we all have the ability to tap into a higher level of awareness and a higher level of consciousness that is always available to us, especially when we're navigating times like this. And so through many, many, many years and extraordinary experiences of all this, of how all this came about, I am so blessed to be a channel for the wisdom of the Council, which is a collective of expanded awareness, higher level consciousness, and a level of insight that allows us to master our human experience and really live it to the fullest. And if you're listening to this in this time, I absolutely believe you are part of the Great Awakening that is happening on our planet at this time. You are here to be a leader and a master, and to really remember that this is an opportunity to witness the greatest transformation of human consciousness that has ever been available to us. And my intention for this call is to provide you with the guidance, the wisdom, the opportunity to remember all that you are and all that you know and why you are here in this incredible human experience at this time. And so if you're new to the Council, maybe, Sarah, you could give a little bit of your experience of what the Council's wisdom and teachings has been in your life.
Absolutely. The first thing I want to say is if you're new, welcome. My experience and what I find for most people in this community is that the Council finds you. You don't necessarily go looking for them. I was on a path of my own spiritual journey for a long time, and I was very satisfied in that experience. I had mastered it quite well and was loving life. I wasn't looking for anything new. I wasn't lacking anything, and along they came. So welcome. You will know by the resonance that you feel that you're in the right place. For me, it has helped me, being part of this community has helped me take things to the next level in a way that I was never seeking, and the experience is quite different than any other that I have come across, in that it really is a community. There's an exchange. There's so much focus on the integration of the experience, and one of my favorite things that the Council talks about is going beyond the law of attraction. And I'm kind of selfishly hoping they'll talk a little bit more about that today. But the Council is everything that Sarah said and so much more. I can I can only tell you that they're constantly reminding us that it is our own wisdom that they are sharing, and they're here because they promised they would be. And it's wisdom that we never intended to forget.
Well, beautiful, Sarah Elizabeth. Thank you for that. Yes, the council does seem to find you. And for some like Sarah Elizabeth, they are in this incredible place of really enjoying their life. And the wisdom of the council comes in to help us live our highest potential, this knowing within you that there's a purpose and a reason you're here. Maybe you even feel some greater calling in your life and you've been wondering what that is. Many people describe to me that the experience of the council is like coming home to the place that they have longed for in their entire human journey. And for most people, the first time you hear the council's voice, the first time you feel their energy, for many it's a very emotional experience because it is so powerful but so loving. And it's like you just can't not feel a deeper awareness of who you are and what's possible for you in that experience. So we're going to bring in the council a little bit later, and you will have the opportunity to experience that for yourself if you're new to this work. And for many of you who have been part of this work for a long time, who are part of our global community, who are part of the Master's Class program, who have been part of the many courses that we have done, we are so grateful for you, and you are all ambassadors of this work in the world. You are way showers. You are those who are out leading and guiding in this time of awakening, and you are needed now more than ever. The council told us in a recent call as part of a final session in a live course that we did that you are needed now more than ever, which means you're needed here in this human experience to fully step into the master that you know you are and live in your experience of heaven on earth that's available for you here and now. And there really is no better, more powerful time for many reasons, which we're going to talk about today. So when we shared this call with all of you, there are some particular things that we are going to talk about today, which is what the world is awakening to and why you have been prepared for this time. If you're listening to this, there's just something within you that knows that that is true. The council said a few years ago that for most all of us, around 2006, 7, 8 time frame, the life that we knew began to dramatically change for some of us. Many people come to this work as a result of seeking the answers to who am I, why am I here, what is my purpose, how do I live it? And a lot of times there are experiences that lead us to asking those questions. It is our own awakening journey. And we're going to talk about today why everything in your life has been divinely orchestrated for this time. We're going to also talk about why it's so important for so many reasons that you start creating a new paradigm of living, loving, and leading in your own life right now. And we're going to talk about how absolutely critical it is that you create a balanced system in your own life to bring your own life into harmony. We're going to talk about the experience of why so many people are going through a transformation of consciousness right now. We're going to talk about, which is so fascinating, why many people are going to go through an awakening experience that may not include a spiritual path like so many of us took. I know for me, my journey to awakening was a spiritual path, and even within those spiritual paradigms, there's so many different ways, and everybody's journey is unique. And so long as we're still in this human experience, we are on an awakening journey. We are on a journey of the Master here at this time. And we're going to talk about the role of love and mastery and impeccable creation during this time. So I'm really excited to dive into this. So, Sara, where would you like to begin?
Well, I would like to talk a little bit about you, because there are going to be people here who not only don't know the council, but don't know you. And I think it's so important because one of the things that we speak about often, both in the courses and, when we're just having our wonderful, amazing conversations, epic every time, is we're just normal people. We have regular lives with pets and, homes and all of the regular things. And I love, you like to joke that you didn't want to go. You were asking these questions for yourself about the purpose, the true purpose in your life, having achieved, by society's definition, every level of success. And you wanted something more, and it wasn't just a bigger goal, and it certainly wasn't to go meditate on a mountaintop. That just wasn't your path. And I think it's wonderful to be able to incorporate the experience of mastery in this modern world. And I just want to let people know how committed you are and how incredible it is and what a difference it makes in our community that you are so committed to leading all of the thought leaders and way showers, and how passionate you are about living consciously and creating impeccably and living harmoniously within yourself and everything that the council teaches. One more thing I think might be worth tossing in is that we talk about thought leaders and way showers and, all of this. And you said something really amazing to me recently about how it doesn't mean anything super special. You could be a leader in your family. You can be a leader just within your own home, and that is more than enough. It doesn't have to be someone who's out there. It's a change maker in whatever level, because change starts within you.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
One of the important teachings of the council is the world that exists within you is a reflection of the world around you, which means the most important thing that you can do to be a leader in this time is to create within you the most harmonious, loving, abundant, beautiful, joyful, peaceful experience. And when we do that within us, then and only then, because you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot be in a state of chaos within you and bring peace to your family and those around you. And so for me, when I think of living my heaven on earth, it's living a big, beautiful life, making an impact, really being part of the transformation of consciousness and sharing this incredible wisdom, but never taking for granted the opportunity each and every one of us have every single day to be a beacon of light, to show others that there's a better way, and to be a guide as people are navigating this time, holding a potential for it to be one of ease and grace for everyone. And so we're going to be talking a lot about the journey of the Master, which is a new course that is starting next week, April 11th. But I want to talk about what that means. The Master does not mean that you have millions of followers. It doesn't mean that you work really hard. It doesn't mean that you become responsible for everybody else's happiness. The Master is one who in their everyday life gets into their own inner state of harmony, aligned with the power within them, and then allows energy to light the way, allows the light to guide you all throughout your day. And the Master is one who has fully realized all that you are, which means the integration of every part of you. There's no separation within you, and then there's no separation outside of you. And it is about finding that light, that power, opening and allowing energy to serve you and then letting that light guide the way for you. And however is fun and joyful and creative in the way that you express that through you is mastery, is living as a master and a leader and a way shower during these times. Whether you experience that out walking through a park or you experience that on a huge global platform, sharing your wisdom and your awakening journey with many others, or whether you're in a corporate job or in a professional job or have your own business, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a parent, whatever it is, it's perfect. So long as you are expressing all that you are in a way that is joyful and harmonious for you. And I share this again because it's really important. It was a big shift in my life and in many other people's. When the council said, there was a person in our master's class who asked the question, I want to write a New York Times best-selling book because I want to help people. I want to share my story. And this is just one of the ways that we think that we are not enough until we write a New York Times best-selling book, or we have a certain amount of money, or we have the lover we think we want. And so we create this gap. And one of the core pieces of the journey of the master is creating, without ever having to go down into the lack and the limitation and the separation, to create more of what you want to experience in your life. If I could invite you into any incredible opportunity at this time, it is for you to transcend in your own life experience, which means to rise above, to ascend to a higher state of consciousness, a perspective, a higher experience, and transcend fear in your life, in your own human experience, now and forevermore. It is to transcend chaos, lack, separation, fear in this time. And so when Sara mentioned that a big part of this work is about going beyond the law of attraction, that is what I was seeking when I began channeling the council and their wisdom came through. I had created the life that I thought I was supposed to live in order to be successful in this human experience. I had achieved a lot of success. I had wonderful friends and a beautiful house and a husband, and from the outside it all looked like it should be perfect. But inside I knew I was not living the purpose I was here in this life for, and I didn't know what it was. And so on one side I had personal development gurus saying, take massive determined action and work really hard and make it happen, and you can have what you want. And the truth is you can. However, I had done that, and it still didn't provide the purpose and the fulfillment and the meaning that I knew was possible for my life and for everybody's life. And on the other side, I had these spiritual teachers and gurus who were saying, get calm, find the peace within you, the sitting on the mountaintop sort of thing. And that's not the life I wanted to live either. I wanted a really modern life. I wanted to live life to the fullest and live my highest potential, but I knew there was a better, easier way. And the reason that we create such disharmony in living our fullest potential and living our best life is because we are still in a lower dimension of consciousness from time to time where fear, separation, lack exists. There is a potential and a dimension of consciousness that you can access at any time and live in, where you do not move down into those lower dimensions. You can practice and master impeccable creative expression dedicated to the highest evolution of all without having to create a gap in your experience, the lack of what you want to experience more of. So the council said to this person who wanted to write a New York Times best-selling book, And they said, well, here's what I've got to do. This person said, I've got to write the book, and then I've got to find a publisher, and then I've got to find an agent, and then I've got to sell it, and I can't share my story, and I can't really help people until I have this level of manifestation, which would take 2 or 3 years if it even happened at all. And the council said, in this day, someone's life could be changed just by you fully stepping into all that you are, being present, conscious in the moment, and sharing your story, speaking your truth. And so we don't have to create the big gap. You can have your experience now in an easy, effortless, harmonious way. And so as leaders, as way showers, as the masters that you are of your human experience, despite this time where many of us are staying at home, it is not about staying in. It is about going within and going deeper within you to allow all that you are, to express all that you are. And the most magical and miraculous things will happen in your life if you will allow it. So, being a master, being a leader, being a way shower, wherever you are is exactly where you have been placed, is exactly where you're meant to be. With your family, with your friends, with your neighbors, maybe on social media platforms, maybe in your own businesses. This is the time now more than ever to live fully, to love fully, and to lead in this time of awakening. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
For sure. Oh, and it brings up so many more things. Talking about creating that paradigm and that balance system within our own life experience and sort of what it means to live as a master and be committed to impeccable creative expression. I just keep thinking about the quote from the council just a couple of weeks ago when they said, it's your job to hold the vision and create it for yourself, to live it now, to choose it now, to be it now, and to allow it to express fully through you. And so as you talk about living heaven on earth and being a leader, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that it's not some big, grand responsibility, and the council talked about this the other day too, to the planet. It's just about being who you really are. Do it for you and let it radiate your light for everyone else. And just enjoy your own heaven on earth.
Yeah, it's so important. And some might feel like, how can you live in heaven on earth right now? And the truth is, that is the most important thing that you can be doing. We talked about, balance within your system, and I want to talk about this for a moment. I was on a video interview yesterday for a show that's going to be on Amazon Prime and Roku TV, and I was sharing that the council's wisdom is that this virus has a purpose. It has a reason for being here. It is bringing balance. It is about balance and creating balance within the system. Now, I will preface that with the council's teaching is also not to give your attention to lower agendas, conspiracy theories at this time. When you think there's a conspiracy and someone is trying to harm you, it's not them that's harming you. It's you that's harming you because it feels so awful to get all wrapped up and entangled in those conspiracies. That's not what I mean by bringing balance to the system. Bringing balance to the system. The purpose for this virus is to bring balance. I also shared yesterday in that interview, if you're like me, I didn't really love the word balance when the council first started talking about balance about a year ago, and how important it is to bring our entire experience into balance, meaning your body, your emotions, your thoughts, your environment, your home, your relationships. Everything is asking to come into a level of balance, and it's really important. They gave the analogy that when you're learning to ride a bike, what you're learning is how to balance as you ride a bike. And once you do, then riding a bike is more fun. You can go faster. You can do tricks. You can play. It doesn't take as much work. And so remembering that this is about bringing us into balance. So when they first started talking about this, I'm like, well, balance that's not exciting. That's not manifesting our hopes and our dreams and creation and living in heaven on earth. It actually it is. It's the basis. It's the foundation. But for me, the word I align with even more is the word harmony. Bringing ourselves into a state of harmony, bringing our experience into a place of harmony, bringing our environment into a state of harmony. That, to me, is heaven on earth. And as the council has said, it is more important now more than ever. It is your job. When they talk about to hold the vision, what are we talking about? The vision is your own experience of heaven on earth, because as we each create our own experience of heaven on earth, and not everybody's experience is the same. Yours could be one with living in a more rural place in the mountains. Others could be living in a city. Others could be living by the ocean. Some could have children. Some could have animals. Some could have a romantic relationship. Some could have a big family. Heaven on earth is different for everybody. What we experience in our own heaven on earth is of your choosing. But it's more important now than ever that you create it for yourself. And when we do that, we are moving into an opportunity to begin to merge our heaven on earth experiences into the new earth. So holding the vision of the new earth, of heaven on earth. And most all of us would say something very similar about what the new earth looks like, what heaven on earth looks like. Peace, joy, love, harmony, abundance, well-being for ourselves in our own life, in our relationships with others, that they would be harmonious, in our relationships with the animals and the land, we would have harmonious relationships, and within ourselves, we would have harmony. And it's more important now than ever that you create it for yourself, because this virus thrives on imbalance. I was sharing all of this on the interview yesterday that I mentioned, and the person who was interviewing me said, it's fascinating that is the spiritual or consciousness perspective on this, because yesterday they had a doctor on who said the virus, when a person is in fear, stressed, overwhelmed, upset, extremely anxious, the brain releases cortisol. And this doctor said that the coronavirus thrives on cortisol, the stress hormone. And when they have tested people that had extreme cases, they had very, very high levels of cortisol. Many people who are coming in contact with the virus, who are in an inner state of balance and harmony, are not experiencing any symptoms, because the virus cannot thrive in an environment that does not release or secrete a large amount of cortisol. So, more important now than ever. And when this is what we also want for everyone in our life, peace, well-being at this time, it's more important than ever that you bring your system, your body, your life into harmony, into balance. And in that, you really will witness your potential to transcend in your own human experience fear forevermore, suffering, struggle, entangling in trauma and drama, this is the perfect time to elevate your experience to a new reality where these things do not exist. And, as the Council tells us, when you put fear and suffering out of your own human experience, you put fear and chaos and suffering out of the entire human experience. You no longer are contributing to the fear, the chaos that is in the mass conscious collective. You are elevating the potential for humankind to live beyond fear. Now, is everybody going to choose that today? Probably not. But you matter. Your life matters. Your choices matter. How you live your life is what is contributing to the potential and the possibilities as you illuminate a better way, an easier way, a more harmonious way to live your life to the fullest. So, most of us have been gifted with this time of a little more space, a little more consciousness, a little more opportunity to follow the light, let energy guide you in your way, because all the things we thought we had to do aren't there today like they've been. And the Council says, maybe, just maybe, this entire experience is happening for you. Maybe there's something more important than what you thought you had to do every day. Maybe there's something more important than the way you were living your life. Maybe there's something better trying to present itself to you in this time. So, Sarah Elizabeth, if you're joining us, we have Sarah Elizabeth with us. So if you hear me say Sarah or Sarah Elizabeth, that's who I'm referring to. But does that answer your question?
Oh, it's perfect. And all this talk of balance and personal practice reminds me of one of my favorite things I've ever heard a yoga instructor say. Very simple concept, but balance doesn't exist in the stillness. It exists in all the fine little movements. You don't just stand in the pose and stay still. You're consistently adjusting. And this time, recognizing yourself as a master and remembering that you can practice your mastery no matter what seems to be happening around you is wonderful, and allowing any circumstances or events to even sharpen those skills, and maybe even reaching the point of being excited and delighted for any opportunity, no matter what it looks like, for more balance, greater harmony within you than ever before, so that you can practice that impeccable creative expression. And we're talking about the Great Awakening and what you're personally contributing. You just said, as you're putting fear and chaos and stress out of your experience, you're helping to make that possible for all of humanity. The Council said recently, in every moment, whatever you are feeling within you is what you are contributing to humanity or to the greater whole at this time. And I think that's such a beautiful idea that allows us to kind of think about this new paradigm and this awakening world. And like you said, not everyone will choose it, but more and more are choosing it. So maybe this is a good time to talk about that experience and these fascinating ways that people will be awakening beyond spiritual paths, or what we would typically think of as spiritual paths.
Yeah, great question. So for most all of us who came ahead of the Great Awakening, and went through our own awakening experiences as a particular phase of the Great Awakening, but the Council has said to us, the Great Awakening is entering into the next phase where millions and millions of people are going to be waking up at an unprecedented rate. This means people in your family, in your businesses, in your workplace, in your communities are going to be waking up. Imagine your own awakening experience 10 times faster on a global level. You are needed now more than ever. And that is why those of us who went through our own awakening experiences, maybe in 2006, 7, 8, 9 time frame, there was another phase of it in 2011, 12, 13. There was an acceleration of it in 2017, 18, and 19. And now we're at this place where on a global level, you are seeing a transformation of human consciousness and an awakening that has come to a level that has never been experienced on this planet before. This is absolutely the lifetime that you came in to fully awaken, to fully self-realize, and to step into your mastery, into the master that you are of your life experience at this time. So my own awakening, and I think for many people they're similar. I had about all the things that lead to the awakening. I did not go gracefully and easily into my awakening prior to having the wisdom of the Council, but it began with the death of my brother in a car accident, and that was my first experience in the viewing room of my brother's body the day he died, of having this energy of absolute liquid love and pure bliss go through my body in the cold, heavy, emotional room I was sitting in. All of a sudden, my entire body was warm and in peace, and liquid love was flowing through me. And I heard my brother say over my right shoulder, as clear as day, I am still here. I'm just not in there, meaning his body. And I said, well, where are you? And he said, I'm just as here as I ever was. I just left the density of the body, and I am at a rate of vibration, a frequency that your physical senses cannot interpret. But I did not leave. I did not go anywhere. I'm just as here as I ever was. That was what started my awakening experience on a level of asking, what is going on here? There is a higher thing here. There is a God, and it's not what I learned in Christianity. And it was so much more. I'm so blessed to be raised by a very loving Christian family. I have always loved Jesus. I have always had an incredible connection with Jesus my entire life, still do. And yet there were so many questions I had, like, what about heaven? How is it that some people go to heaven and some go to hell? And this idea that people who didn't believe Jesus was the Savior, that they were all going to go to hell, didn't make any sense to me. That we were sinners and fallen angels didn't make any sense to me. And in that one moment with my brother, hearing his voice, hearing and feeling what he said to me, I knew there was so much more, and I had to know what that was. So for many people, our awakening experience might have been a death of a loved one, a divorce, financial devastation. Your own awakening experience could have been a near-death experience that you had, a health issue, facing a life-threatening or terminal disease, or experiencing a great amount of pain or disease in the body. All of these things have led most of us to our awakening. I'm honored that there are some incredible people in our master's class that came into this, had no trauma and drama, had the most easy, effortless, harmonious awakenings in a very expeditious time, and it's been beautiful to watch. And in my entire being, I wish that for the planet, and I know. We never know what another soul's journey should be or why they're here or what their journey is meant to be for them. And we cause our own suffering when we think we know what another soul's journey should be, their journey to awakening. And we also cause our own suffering when we try to fix it for everybody else, when we try to load everybody else up on our shoulders and carry them over the finish line. The Council tells us everybody will get there. It may mean in the moment that they take their last breath and reemerge back into the fullness and the pure joy and the bliss of who they are. But everyone will get there. And so we cannot carry everybody there. That's not what this is about. You are not responsible for everybody in your life waking up. In fact, when we judge someone as not in the right place or doing something wrong, we always entangle with resistance, which is usually going to cause a reaction in that person. And so it is about seeing everyone as the fullness of all that they are, knowing the truth, the potential within them, and loving them enough to allow them to be right where they are. Remember that everybody is doing the best they can with what they know. How blessed are you that you have a grander perspective and a higher awareness at this time. But don't judge how others are coping. And the only real way you can make it better for them is to be all that you are, illuminate the potential and the possibility. As I was walking this morning, I was having an absolute experience of heaven on earth going even deeper in my life. It was more beautiful. I felt more joyful. I felt more peaceful. I felt absolutely like I was living in heaven on earth. And there's this little part of me that said, is it okay to be living in heaven on earth during this time, even with all that I know from the Council's teachings of why it's so important that we do? Is it okay for me to tell people that heaven on earth is available here now more than ever? And instantly the Council came in and said, it's so important that you remind everyone that you live in that state so they too remember it's possible for them. You get to choose the life you live for you. And the Master is free to choose the life you live for you, no matter what anybody else around you is choosing. We're going to dive way more into that in this upcoming course that we're doing, The Journey of the Master, which starts April 11th. But being the Master that you are, as so many people are going through this awakening, 10 times faster than your own on a global level. But that's why you came, and that's why you went through the awakening experience. That's why you have felt this clarion call. That's why you have felt the sense of urgency, because of what's happening now. So here's what's fascinating. For most everybody that comes to the Council's work, their awakening occurred based on one of those ways, or all of those ways, or many of those ways. Other than having my own near-death experience, I experienced all of those other things that I mentioned. Divorce, I had cancer, financial devastation at one point, the death of a loved one, the death of a few loved ones, my beloved cousin Chad as well. It was all these things, and this spiritual path of being curious of reincarnation and past lives and meditation and visualization and the law of attraction and all these different things involved as well. And the Council reminds us of something. There are many, 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 many different ways that people are going to awaken beyond just a spiritual path. Technology, science, mind-altering substances, animals, nature, music, art, anything that you love has the potential to awaken you. Anything that someone is really focused on, really loving, can potentially be the thing that awakens them. Animals. For many people, their love of animals or their love of nature and seeing things destroyed is creating their focus, intensifying their love, and is serving in their awakening. Might not be a spiritual path. Science, people who, for example, here's just one example, people who get really into understanding quantum physics often experience an awakening, an elevated level of consciousness, an awakening their consciousness, a raising or elevating of their own frequency when they begin to understand quantum physics and quantum entanglement. Technology, as we begin to innovate, as we have innovated, here's a really interesting thing. I always find this fascinating. It has expanded my mind, my awareness. How on earth I can be on a Zoom video call, looking real time at someone, hearing them, and they are across the planet. I can be sitting in the U.S. and on a Zoom call with someone in Australia, and in that moment, with perfect accuracy, I am seeing them and hearing them. How does that happen? I can't even begin to understand how technology makes that possible. Many times that has awakened new levels of an awareness and consciousness to me. And so lots of different ways people are going to awaken. I jokingly shared this with someone yesterday. Think of all the people who, when they fell in love with someone that was on this awakening path, they just were along for the ride, also going through their own awakening because they were with this person that had an expanded consciousness, because they were with this person who was living and seeking a higher vibration and higher wisdom. And it was their love for that person that led them to their own awakening. And maybe they're not even still with that person, but the crack that was made, the light that got in, the awareness that came in, now at this time, they're ready to more fully awaken. But the seed had been planted. So I believe it is my absolute truth in my being. In fact, it is one of the things that led me on this path of sharing and teaching this wisdom. Is at one point in time, I did work with a personal development trainer who was absolutely certain that nobody wakes up unless they're miserable, uncomfortable, drama, that's how people awaken. There wasn't a lot of faith in the human spirit that people would choose a loving, harmonious awakening experience. Every fiber of my being knew that this awakening experience could be loving, harmonious, peaceful, joyful, a perfect unfolding. And I hold that vision for our human family, that all those who choose to awaken through ease and grace and love and balance and harmony, remember that that is possible and a path that they can choose for themselves. And every single one of us, and that is the difference between the journey of the master and the journey of the human. The human is just trying to get it all done so that they can be good enough at the end of the day. Have you done enough? Have you worked hard enough? Have you efforted enough? Have you struggled enough? Have you suffered enough? That is the journey that many people experience from the level of the human. The journey of the master is nothing like that. It is about transcending all of that, to live in ease and grace, to let energy guide the way, to radiate your light, to be all that you are, to play and create in new levels of creation, to find more beauty in the world, to fully live in your own heaven on earth. And in that, we bring forward a new earth and create new paradigms within our own experiences that create a better way for all of humanity to move forward. Does that make sense, Sarah?
So much sense.
Sarah,
I love it. It's incredible. And it was so fun to watch and to be a part as this new course was kind of focused into being, because we were talking about how mastery really is an ongoing journey. And so I love that there's always more. It's one of my favorite things about this experience. There's always more. And so there are a couple of things that are really coming up for me that feel important about helping people to understand what the journey of the master really is, because we've talked about following the energy and following the light. So what the heck does that mean? And the council talks about, and it's one of my favorite things that they say, that in the doing there will always be more to be done, but in the being, everything is done through you. So allowing yourself to be and following where you're called and where energy is flowing, where your interest and your focus really wants to be, and letting that happen. The other thing we really talk about in the Master's experience is this idea of impeccable creative expression. And I've been tuned into that for a while with these teachings, and it wasn't until the other day that I really found just this entirely new level of understanding of that. And it was in talking with you, Sarah. I've had a couple of experiences recently, and they just seem sort of normal to me. But I was telling you about the experience of talking with someone who I love dearly and talking about an experience that we are so looking forward to. And then pausing and saying, you know, if I could snap my fingers and just be there, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want that. I want all of the journey along the way. I want all of the rich experiences, and I want that depth of growing connection, and I want all the expression, and I want all of that expansion. I wouldn't snap my fingers and do it. And it was when I said that to you that you said back to me, that's what it's about. That's what mastery really is, in this impeccable creative expression. And after we hung up the phone, I thought about another experience that I had had recently where I was talking with another friend about sort of a fun game we've been playing and ideas around things that really excite us, just following our inspiration and following our curiosity and our fun around, you know, stuff that seems good. And we were talking about dream homes, and she said to me, do you think that's the next place that you'll live? And I paused, and first I said, well, 2 weeks ago I would have told you I don't think so. Now I would say I don't know. But then a few minutes later, as the conversation went on, I said, you know what the truth is? The truth is, I hope not, because there's so much more to become along the way. And if I were to walk into that place next, it wouldn't be the experience that I truly want, because it's the becoming of it that I really, really desire. And that's what heaven on earth is like. It's that consistent flow of energy, freeing yourself beyond attachment to anything turning out. And that idea of like law of attraction, I want to manifest this thing. Nothing wrong with that at all, of course. But not being attached to an outcome. So before we bring in the council, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add around that.
Oh, so love what you just shared, and it's so important, that shift. I'll tell you for myself, I had gotten to this place with manifestation and the law of attraction where it really felt like it was always sort of a feeling of manifesting that thing, and then shortly after wanting to unmanifest that thing and going, oh, like this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Or, you know, there was trauma and drama that came in the making it happen and manifesting it phase. And I just kept asking this question. People say a lot of times they've gotten to this place of not feeling very inspired anymore. And that's how I felt. I had a great life, but I didn't really feel all that inspired anymore. And that's what the council says is the shift between manifestation and creation. creation has no agenda. This is an important part of the journey of the Master, is getting to this place where you don't have a personal agenda. You are abundance. You are beauty. You are rich and prosperous. You are in love. You are healthy. You are aligned to all these things that are inherently within you. And in that, you get more. And in my experience, you get even better than what you could have possibly thought to have asked for and tried to manifest on your own. And so when we are trying to manifest something, where does that thing have to be? Not here, not in your experience. So you automatically have to go into lower dimensions of consciousness, because your separation from that thing is moving you into a dimension of consciousness where there is separation, where there is lack. So the very idea that what you want is separate from you always creates disharmony within you. And so, of course, you want it now, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get it, and you can feel like you're going into this force, effort, control, manipulation energy, because you have to get it here now in order for you to feel what you want to feel and experience what you want to have. And it's just this hamster wheel we stay on. I knew there was something beyond that, but I couldn't find anybody until the council who shared with me why that is. And it's because we are invited into true creation, practicing and mastering impeccable creative expression in the highest good of all, in the highest good of you. I'll be the first person to admit that when I wanted to manifest a lot of things, I hurt people on the way. When I was trying to manifest something, I would hurt someone or myself, of course, always myself, because I was trying to make it happen the way I wanted it to be, or when I thought it would happen, or how I thought it should happen. And it always created trauma, drama, resistance, struggle. And I hurt myself and others in that process. When you are practicing impeccable creative expression, there is only love, ease, harmony, grace. Things unfold in the most impeccable, amazing, incredible ways, so much better than what you ever could have thought. I never would have thought I would have gotten to this point where I don't even want to figure out when or how it's going to happen. Because when you align fully with it in this moment, the Council explains to us that our perception creates our reality. We are creators within our own creation. And true creation has no agenda. And the way we're perceiving our situation is what is creating our reality, how we are perceiving. So if you're new to the Council's wisdom, what this really is the Council brings in an expanded perspective, an elevated state of consciousness, a much more grand perspective of what is going on in our human experience. As you expand your perspective, you begin to perceive things differently, and you focus on your experience differently, which then creates new experiences. It opens you up to new potentials and possibilities within a new reality. Once you experience those things as your truth, then you just draw more and more and more and more and more of that to you. You can live in this alignment with true creation from a place of innocence, impeccableness, absolutely in the flow. You will have more than you could have ever imagined or thought to ask for, and your life will be beyond your wildest dreams. But it's not because you figured out how to make it happen. It's because you opened and allowed the energy that creates worlds, that is creation, to flow through you. And you begin to know yourself as the absolute existence of the source and the energy that creates worlds. And that's when you remember that anything and everything is possible for you. And in the being, all things are done through you. And you will live as the Master, within your own life experience, knowing that you are the power of creation, and that you do not ever again have to go back into the lack, the separation, the unwanted, the limitation, in order to continue to create new, expanded, incredible, amazing realities for you to experience. We're going to go much more into all of that in Journey of the Master, which is our new course, Journey of the Master, Living, Loving, and Leading in this Time of Awakening, which starts next Saturday, April 11th. But I hope what we're talking about is really touching your heart, expanding your awareness, even if you cannot figure out all of this. There's something within you that knows that you are just remembering a truth within you. You drew this wisdom to you at this time. So we're going to get ready to bring in the council right now. Before we do so, Sarah, is there anything else that you, Sara Elizabeth, if you're just meeting her, she's an incredible member of our Sara Landon team. Sara Elizabeth has been here helping to create this conversation and this important discussion today. So anything else, Sara Elizabeth, before we bring in the council?
One quick thing. As you spoke, it really came up for me, and maybe somebody out there is thinking, but if I let go of the outcome or if I let go of the agenda, how do I get what I want, And something that has been just a profound part of my own experience is realizing that there is not a lack of control that I feel. It's actually a tremendous sense of freedom to just move about my experience and trust not the universe. The universe is perfect. To trust myself within it. And one of the things that maybe it's helpful for someone else, one of the things that really works well for me is to have little questions that I'll ask myself all along the way. And so the one that I want to offer to everyone that the council offered us recently is to ask, how is this happening for me? Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm eager to hear the council.
Thank you, Sara Elizabeth. That is so beautiful, and it really is true. There's some basic truths that the council teaches us that we continually bring up, like everything is always working out for me. I have everything I need and more. There is only love. I am worthy of having it all. I am worthy of living in heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is here for me now. And I have the same question that Sarah pointed out. Well, how can I trust that the universe is going to deliver what I want if I don't make it happen, if I'm not out there doing and efforting? And the council so eloquently says, if you would just stop running around out there trying to figure it out, and you will be, your dream will come to you. Your destiny will come to you. It'll come to you, but you'll know by being in the moment and being present and being in the highest state of consciousness and vibration. The energy will guide you. I promise the light will guide the way for you. I could give you 100 examples here today. We're going to dive way more into following the light in Journey of the Master. This is about really opening and allowing energy to serve you and serve through you. To open and allow energy in its fullest capacity, the energy that creates worlds, to serve you, expands you. And when you allow energy to serve you and serve through you without an agenda, the most miraculous and amazing things happen. When we try to manipulate the energy or push the energy, this is what I did. I was always trying to push the energy the way I thought it should go. I would open and allow energy, and then I would try to push it or control where I focused it so I could get what I wanted, right? Oh, this is just so much better than that. And I never thought I would say this. But it is opening and allowing energy to serve you and to serve through you, and just following the energy, allowing the light to guide the way, radiating and shining brightly, the light that you are. And in that, you will have more love, more abundance, more well-being, more health, more harmony, more beauty in your life than you could ever imagine. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the council one last time. If you're just joining us and you didn't hear us share, we are inviting you, and I really hope you all will take the time to visit our website. There is many, many other free resources under saralandon.com, Sara, SARALANDON. Go to saralandon.com. There's many more free resources there. There's 2 incredible channel messages from the Council about navigating this current time and about the COVID virus specifically under free resources. And then I invite you to go to our courses page and read about the journey of the Master. I hope each and every one of you will join us in living, loving, and leading in the time of the awakening as we start our newest course, which will be all live, channel course with Q&A, 5 weeks, starting on April 11th, and that you can find under courses at saralandon.com, Journey of the Master. I also encourage you, if you love this, we do this in our master's class every week. And we take these concepts deeper. We focus on integrating them. We bring in new channel messages and information. It is an absolute deep dive. It's an amazing global community. You can check out our master's class as well. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the Council for a channeled message, and then we're going to go to a live Q&A with the Council. I'm so excited for this. If you are hearing me for the first time, here's how this goes. You're going to hear just a couple of moments of quiet. I encourage you at that time to close your eyes and take some really deep breaths yourself as we bring in the energy. When the Council comes through, you will notice that my voice changes a little bit. The cadence of how they speak through me is a little bit different. I encourage you to just feel it in your heart. Let it expand you. Let it raise your vibration. Let it take you to a different state of awareness. Don't try to figure it out. Just feel it. And in that state of being, all things will be done through you. You'll hear exactly what you need to hear. You'll remember it at just the perfect time. It will expand your awareness to new potentials and possibilities. And it might just be an incredible feeling of coming home to the truth within you. So, here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you all on this important day. We remind you that while our words to you are important, this is a vibrational experience of you remembering who you really are and why you are here and what you intended when you chose this magnificent life experience. You are here because you answered the call and you said, I will go. I can do this. You're here because you so love humanity and the animals and the planet, and because there is no better place to be in this time of the great awakening of your human family and the greatest transformation of consciousness that has ever occurred. You are needed here, now, more than ever, to live your life to the fullest, to be all that you are, to create your heaven on earth, and to step into the full realization of all that you are. You are the very existence of God, Source, the divine, in form. And when you remember that, you will transcend fear forevermore, because you will know yourself as the God that you are of your human experience. The God that you are, the truth of who you are, is consciousness. The truth of who you are is energy. The truth of who you are is light. There is a state of consciousness that exists here and now where you are everything you wish to be, and you remember the potential and the possibilities for your life beyond the limitation you learned. You learned limitation. You learned to fear. You learned to struggle. You learned to judge. It's not who you are. And we have said that as you are elevating your own vibrations and frequencies, this is why the focus on your vibrations, this is why the focus on meditation and visualization and gratitude and appreciation, this is why. Because as you raise your vibration, you elevate your level of consciousness to a state of consciousness where there is pure love, where there is pure light, where there is oneness, where there is so much more possible for you than you ever learned in this human experience. But it is a state of consciousness where you begin to perceive your reality differently, and therefore you create a new reality. You know yourself as the creator within your own creation. Your mind can't figure out how to do this and never will. But as you elevate your consciousness, there is a knowing that you have even greater abilities than you've ever been told, that you have more potential and possibility than maybe you've even ever seen anyone live in your life experience. There's so much more here for you, and you're ready, or you wouldn't be listening to this. We are here for you. You drew this to you. In fact, you are the one channeling it to you. There is a knowing of the truth within you, of who you really are, and why you are here, and why this is the time for you to fully step into knowing yourself as the master that you are. We'll explain this. We've never said this the way we're going to say it now. Many of you have talked about the new earth for a long period of time. You've talked about the new earth. You've held the vision for the new earth. You're going to start seeing it move into form in the world. We want you to understand what is meant by that. You are going to see an elevated state of consciousness present itself to you in your reality as you maintain higher vibrations and frequencies for longer periods of time. And because for so many of you, this is an opportunity to more fully focus into following the energy, allowing the light to guide the way, and creating greater peace and harmony in your own environment that supports you in living your life fully, loving yourself fully, and being all that you are. So when we talk about heaven on earth, it is a state of consciousness that is available to you. And there are different laws in these elevated states of consciousness that organize how creation works within higher states of reality. If you are in a heavy emotional place, when you are trying to figure things out or force it, when you are in resistance or reaction, that is what takes so much work. That is what breaks down your body. That is what causes dis-ease. That is what causes stress and overwhelm and anxiety and fear, because you are literally slowing your rate of vibration and moving yourself into a lower dimension of consciousness. In those lower dimensions of consciousness, you have lower emotions. And there's a lot less that is possible there energetically because you slow the rate of vibration. You have to force things. You have to effort That's the dimension where you roll the boulder up the hill in the mud with the big heavy boots on. Because you don't allow yourself to be in the flow, in the easy, effortless way that things can unfold for you. So in those lower dimensions of consciousness, which we could call the third dimension, which we could call the old earth, but we don't want you to start separating yourselves. We don't want this to be hierarchical. We don't want this to create greater tension. We just want you to notice when you go down into those lower dimensions of consciousness, that's where the worry is, that's where the suffering is, that's where the struggle is, that's where the lack is, that's where the pain is, that's where the dis-ease is. You can elevate yourself out of that experience at any time and reemerge back into all that you are. But you cannot rid the third dimension of those things. That is what exists at those lower rates of frequencies and in those lower emotions. This is not about you fixing the world, saving the world. The world is not broken. It works precisely with perfect accuracy. As our friend Sarah Elizabeth said, it is not about you trusting the universe. The universe is perfect. This is about you trusting you to live your life in higher dimensions of consciousness. And in that, you will illuminate the potential and the possibility for your entire human family to transcend those lower dimensions of consciousness. It is not, and you cannot, rid the third dimension or the old earth of fear, suffering, struggle, chaos. You cannot. You can only elevate your own experience beyond where these things exist. That is why you are guides. That is why you are way showers. That is why you are here to be leaders at this time. Because as you guide the way to higher dimensions of consciousness and grander potentials and possibilities, you make it so much easier for others to cross the bridge that you have built with your own life. The bridge is you. The bridge is your life. The bridge is your reality. The bridge is your experience. The bridge is your behaviors, your actions, your choices, your words, your thinking. You can build a bridge, and it will make it so much easier for others to also cross into living in higher dimensions of consciousness. But you cannot walk the path for them. You cannot carry them. You cannot drag them. Love them. Love them. Love is what changes people. Love is what will change the world. Love is the only thing that ever changed you. Not pain, not struggle, not suffering. The love. You would only be suffering if there was love. You would only be struggling if there was love. You would only feel those things if there was love. So the truth is there is only love, and that's all that's real. That's available to you every moment, and we assure you, if you will allow energy to guide the way for you, you will have always everything you need and more. But you must know within you that life is always happening for you. Maybe, just maybe, something extraordinary is trying to present itself to you. That your dream and your destiny is here for you now. And all you have to do is open and allow it and let the energy guide the way, and you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams. You are witnessing the greatest transformation of human consciousness, and you are witnessing the greatest transformation of your own consciousness. And as you elevate your consciousness and awareness, you begin to perceive life differently. You shift your focus on higher potentials and possibilities. That is how you create a new reality. As you do it for yourself, you will begin to move on a global level into heaven on earth, or a new earth, or a fifth dimensional and higher state of consciousness within human existence. You will, we assure you. And there will come a time where you will live in a fully awakened world. Everyone will get there. Everyone will awaken, even if it is in the moment they take their last breath and reemerge back into all that they are. It is assured. There are many that will leave the planet in this time and in times to come. They are just re-emerging with all that they are. Nothing has gone wrong. To reach the highest levels of awakening is to go beyond wrong and right and what's good and bad and judgment and entangling, to know that everything is of source, all is of God, everything has a purpose. You get to choose the life you live for you, and you get to allow others their own path, their own journey. You will cause your own suffering and move yourself into lower dimensions of consciousness when you think you know what another soul's journey should be. You could never. But your higher selves are always connected, are always one, and your higher selves know that there is only love. Hold a higher perspective from a much grander viewpoint of what's going on here, and you will feel the fullness of all that you are. You will feel the absolute knowing of the truth. That each and every one of you are part of the perfection of all that is. And you will create a new paradigm on earth that will present to you a glorious, magnificent, beautiful future for humankind. There is a purpose for the awakening. Most all of you have focused on your own awakening and then wanting others to awaken and now being more aware of the Great Awakening. But there's something beyond even that. Beyond a fully awakened human family is a purpose for humanity and earth in this vast, glorious, beautiful universe. And you are going to see. You are going to see what this was all about. And you're going to look back and say, wow, that was epic, incredible, amazing. That is what the Master knows. So the Master can enjoy every step of the journey along the way. And so it is. And so it is. Really good. So we're going to go to your questions now. Our first caller, are you there?
Yes, hi, this is Carrie again. I feel like I've been on so many times, so I'm so appreciative to you. So I've been absorbing you all in these messages every day, and I continue. I am going back and forth. So I'm guessing that's just part of the process of feeling the expansive, and for me as I'm doing the meditations even, my soul I feel comes from below the earth, in the waters. And it's showing up in my reality. And it is kind of exciting to see what this is going to show up as. And then at the same time, I feel like I'm continuing to get entangled in these old paradigms. A different coach will cross my path and say that if I can help you speed things up. And then I hear your message, like, just stay in the flow, just stay in divine
Speed what
timing.
up? What do you want to speed up?
Like, I feel like I'm in a lot of awaiting in many ways yet. Like
So that's creating separation and holding yourself in limitation, which keeps you separate from that thing. If you were, it's not really about all the stuff. That's always going to change. The part that's real is you and knowing all that you are. Everything is within you. And creation is just getting more of what you already are in the field around you. The absolute formula for creation is consciousness moves energy into form. With the consciousness, the more you expand your consciousness and awareness, the more energy you allow, and you allow energy to serve through you, and the more it moves into form through your force field of creation that is you. You do not have to create lack. You don't have to be patient because it's all here for you now. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
I guess it's still related to serving. And I know what you've said to me before, like just me being with my family, and that is serving, just being in that place.
And if your reality was, all day long, in every way I am serving, every breath I take, when I breathe in, because I am in a state of peace and harmony and love and well-being, as I breathe in, I am infusing in every particle of air peace and love and joy and harmony. As I breathe that out, those particles are going all around the world. And as others breathe them in, they are feeling and aligning more peace and harmony and joy within them because of the very intention I put in, the consciousness I put into every breath I take. I am serving humanity and the greater whole with every breath I take. You could live like that, be serving more than you could possibly ever imagine. And by the way, if you are living at that level, more and more and more and more things will come to you, which are experiences of you serving in the greatest possible way. What you're asking us is not about impeccable creative expression. That's about going into the lack and the unwanted and trying to control and manipulate and push energy the way you think it should go. Mm-hmm. And that's when we say to you, you didn't create the sun and the moon and the stars and the planet. You didn't create the cells in your body. You do not create whatever it is that holds the sun in perfect proximity to you, Earth, so that you do not blow up. You are creation. But there is an intelligence here that your human cannot figure out, but your master knows. And your master's in alignment with it at all times. So your master has no problem practicing impeccable, creative expression dedicated to the highest of all, with no lack, with no limitation, and no separation. You could try to speed it up and force it your way, but you're just going to limit it. You could try to force it and speed it up and do it your way, but you're going to create some trauma and drama. Mm-hmm. Is that what you want?
No.
And it's all perfect. Everything serves. There is data and information, and there's never any judgment from our side ever. But that is your opportunity here. What's really behind your question is you are still in judgment that you are not enough. You're still judging yourself and your situation as not doing enough or being good enough. So you constantly try to get motivated in order to avoid some unwanted circumstance of not being enough. Inspiration, innocence, impeccable creation does not come from a feeling of not being enough, or the judgment of yourself of needing to do more in order to be enough. It comes from purity. It comes from innocence. It comes from inspiration. And you will master impeccable creative expression and serve at the highest levels. But it will not come through force and manipulation and separation of energy, which is what you entangle with when you judge yourself for not being enough. That's the only reason that you get entangled. Do you understand?
Yes. Now just to release that.
What are you releasing? It's just stop doing it.
Okay.
We know it sounds so simple, but just breathe. Breathe. We just gave you a perfect way of practicing this and releasing it. When you feel like you're not good enough and you should be doing something and you're not serving and you need to speed it up and you're trying to be patient, but we better get along with it here. Take a deep, conscious breath. Breathe in as much air, and as you do, infuse every particle with the fullness of this moment, with the love that you are, with the peace that you are, with the joy that you are, with the abundance that you are, with the well-being that you are. And as you breathe out, see those particles of air sparkling and glittering and lighting up this whole world. And imagine it going into the hearts of your entire human family and the animals. That is you radiating your light brightly. Now, are there things that if you follow the energy and allow the light to guide the way, are there things you're going to do? Yes. Are there ways that you're going to serve that are fun and playful and joyful to you? Yes. You get to choose all of those things for you. But you don't need to push and force the energy. Allow the energy, follow the energy, open and allow energy to serve you. If you're not feeling like things are happening, it's because you're not allowing the energy. Open and allow the energy. And you will find things that you really enjoy doing. It's about being a master. It's being on this journey of the master. And exploring and expressing yourself in all the ways that add richness and more fullness and more fun and play to your life. Not because you're not doing enough or you're not good enough, but because you've remembered that you're everything you wish to be. You already are, and it's all within you, and it's all available to you now. And then life will be very fun and fulfilling for you. Do you understand?
Yes, it feels so good.
Really good. Thank you for your question, our friend. We love you. Next question, are you there?
Hi, yes, my name is Kelly, and this is my first time working with you. That last answer was very helpful for me. I have been trying to push the energy to find a new job for me because my job isn't supporting me financially, really. The disconnect I have is that it supports me pretty much in every other way. And so I don't know what kind of guidance you might have for me on that. And then the other question I have, which is sort of coming from a place of lack, is because this is my first time jumping into the work, is it appropriate for me to jump into this class starting next Saturday? Or
you drew this to you. You just drew this to you because it was time and you're ready. You drew this to you. And we would allow it to be choiceless. All of our teachings are forever. Whenever you come to it, it is perfect. And one of our core basic teachings is allow it to be choiceless. Be in the course because you can't not be. Because you know that's where you're supposed to be. Because you know that's what, that you do this to you. Don't do it because you think you should. Do it because you can't not be. It's just choiceless for you. Trust yourself. That's trusting yourself. There's no one that can tell you where you should be or what you should do. When you let the energy guide you, you know, and it's choiceless. Allow that. So your question about your job, it's very common that this is one of the ways that you really step into your power. Your job, your vocation, money, relationships, and your health are ways that you really learn to master your power and go beyond the limitation so that you can create without going into lack and separation and struggle. You have a very strong belief that the energy is no longer in this job for you, but you believe that it is the source of your abundance, financial well-being, security, and safety. Would you agree?
Yes, and I like the independence that I have within my job. I mean, I work for somebody, but in many ways I don't.
So you really liked this job at one point, right? And now the energy's just not in it the way it was.
Yes.
So we want to bring this up for a reason, because most all of you, instead of seeing it that way, have to make somebody wrong. Have to make your boss wrong. Have to make the company wrong. Have to make the clients wrong. Have to blame somebody. This is the same thing in a relationship. When the energy goes out of a relationship, you go into resistance, reaction, and you try to figure out what's wrong, which entangles you with suffering and judgment and struggle and disharmony. You can navigate change in an easy, effortless way by acknowledging without any judgment that you're following the energy and the energy just isn't there the way it used to be. That's how you know something's trying to change for you. That's how you know something new is presenting itself to you. That is how you know that you have expanded into some new potential and possibility. Now, you can navigate that with ease and grace. However, when you are perceiving that this job is your only source of abundance, your only source of financial support, your only source of safety and security, it will continue to draw to you a reality that has to reflect that back to you. The truth is, you have an infinite abundance that is always available in every moment to serve you. We have said the greatest consciousness, the greatest currency on your planet is consciousness. The greatest currency on your planet is your consciousness, because from elevated states of consciousness, you draw it to you. And you no longer try to push and manipulate energy. So, how do you do that? How do you create without an agenda and draw to you in the force field around you an experience that is perfectly aligned to what you want more of? And the answer actually lied in the question. But you draw to your force, through your force field, more of what you are, more of what you're focused on, and it is your perception of anything that creates your reality. So, tell us, really feel into your new job. Don't try to figure out what it is, but just tell us, if you could be living your perfect day, and you have an important work that you do in the world, and in your perfect day, through freedom and joy and creativity and expansion, you are doing this work that is your joy to share and experience in the world. What does that feel like, this new job, this new work from your most limitless place, living your perfect day? What does that feel like?
Ease, working with people.
Connecting or collaborating with people? What is it about the people?
Connecting with people. I've internalized being a beacon, and right now I work in a library, and I'm a beacon to a lot of people, from kindergartners through older people, in just connecting them with the information that they want, books, DVDs, whatever. But also,
so how does that feel?
It feels good, because, and then in knowing that my energy projects out into the world through the library interaction, I spread my light or the light, and that feels good, and I like that. I'm open to there being other ways where I spread my light and connect people with joy, with what they want. But that's what I like to do.
See, it's really good because in a lot of ways you actually have created what you want. You just want more of it. And if you're not attached to the form it takes or how it happens or when it happens, you'll create it even that much faster. But a big part of it you've already created. Ease, connection, sharing, shining my light. If you are feeling into those things all day long and talking, so the universe is perfect. It gives you more of what you are. So when you say and you really feel and what you're sending to the signal to the universe is, my days are filled with ease, my days are fun, they're filled with play and connection, I'm shining my light and I share and I love it, I'm enjoying my life, you get more and you get more and you get more. When you think that you have to be so specific or the universe is going to get it wrong, that is when you trip yourself up. You don't have to be specific.
So the specific I'm looking for is a little more money and medical care.
I want to draw more abundance. Do you want medical care or do you want well-being? Do you want medical care that supports you when you get sick, or do you want to live at your highest well-being and always be in perfect health, alive, and in harmony within yourself?
Well-being.
Yes. So we know there's a path to that. We understand. But if you will hold that higher potential or awareness of what it is you really want, you won't limit yourself.
Okay. And
you can have medical care, but you don't really want it because medical care would imply that you'd have to get sick in order to use it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have some underlying health conditions that I would like to be able to monitor through affordable means.
Why not have perfect harmony in your body where those things aren't your experience anymore?
Yeah.
We're not asking you to push against them. We just want to expand your potential, but that is possible for you if you choose it because there's a part of you that already lives in a state of perfect health. And the more you allow it, the more you will experience it now. So we understand. We understand. You want a great job that you love with more money and more opportunity to have medical care. Wonderful. If that's what you're talking about and focused on and excited about, here's one of our favorite things. Don't try to figure it out. Just get excited about it. Just get excited about it because the truth is there is already a new opportunity in your force field about to present itself to you, or you wouldn't even have the idea to get another job, or the energy wouldn't have moved out of your other job such that the energy is now drawing you to something new.
Yeah.
And when you can trust yourself to stay conscious and present in the moment, to stay in a good feeling place, you trust yourself to keep your thoughts focused on getting more of what you are, focused on what you want, not on what you don't want, and feeling and finding within you all that is already here for you, and then focusing on drawing to you more of what you are and getting excited about it. When you trust that you know you can create anything that way, you can't even imagine how glorious your life is going to be. You understand?
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
We love you, our friend. Thank you for your question. Our next question, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi. Oh my God, I've been listening to you guys for years and I'm so excited. Thank you. Okay, I've been wondering if my question's already been answered, but so I guess my question is dealing with family members and all of their stuff that's coming up and having it affect me, and how to step away from that and keep my vibration high, or see what my place is in it. You know, if there's something for me.
There's lots for you.
Yeah.
So.
And then, being a light worker for so long, and, being part of this great awakening, and then, feeling like you're not manifesting what you want. Like, where are the blessings? Even though I know there are some here, but...
So we'll just tell you this. All of you who feel a bit weary, if you will just accept what we're going to say to you and know it as your truth, because it is, and feel the resonance with what we're about to say, you have done your job. You have done your part. All that is left for you to do is receive. Open up and receive for all that you have given. You have given and you have given and you have given and you have given. And when you stop wondering if you've done enough or if you've given enough, and you allow yourself to receive all that is here for you, the blessings, the gifts, the opportunities, the connections, the money, the potentials will flow into your experience like never before. This is where you are going to receive the highest and best good in your life experience now. And if you will just not try to figure that out, and you will just allow yourself to receive the truth of what we said to you, you will begin to see it show up in your entire experience and everything around you. The struggle is over. The difficulty is over. Lay down the burden. Lay down the struggle. Stop denying all that you are. Stop denying the God that you are, the source that you are, the power that you have, the love that is within you, and be all that you are. Live your life fully. Love yourself fully, and allow all that you are, and you will receive all that is here for you. So important. We're going to answer your first question.
Thank you.
Other people are not affecting your vibration. You are entangling through your judgment of yourself and others with lower level emotions that feel awful. Don't judge them. Just love them. Don't try to fix them. Just love them. Have love and compassion for yourself. We said to someone last week who asked us the question about her sister not liking her response about something and hung up, and we said that cannot affect you. What is affecting you is that you denied yourself love and compassion in the moment because someone else did not approve of you. You denied yourself love and compassion. You denied yourself ease and grace. You denied yourself acceptance and approval. You stopped celebrating all that you are because of someone else. They don't have that power over you. Only you can withhold love and compassion for yourself. Don't try to fix them. Just love them. See them through your heart. The God that you are. Witness the divine in them. Love them where they are. Because when you're judging them as in the wrong place or not where they should be or they don't get it or they should be doing this or it could be easier for them if they would just do that or why do they do this or why do they say that, and then you try to decide what they need, it's just going to create resistance for you, and they're going to react to that resistance or the judgment that they feel. And then it feels like you're really trying to do good here. Why isn't it working? That's why. when you get so good at going, just shifting from your head down into your heart, taking a deep breath, put some space around you. No one can create in your field without your agreement to it. When you put space around you, which is to fill this moment with light and love, the light and the love that you are, the energy that is you, that's always available to you. When you fully allow that all in this moment, and you can be in your heart and be in this moment and put some space around you and choose the reality that you wish for you, then it doesn't matter what anybody out there decides to do. You know the master that you are of your experience, and you do, our friend, we assure you. You understand?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Really good.
I just don't know how to not entangle when I'm the one, I might be called into court, to testify. And
just breathe. Be in your heart. Don't go into the fear. Don't go into the story. This is happening for you. I'll tell you, this is so completely happening for you. We would even venture to invite you to get excited about it, because this experience has been divinely orchestrated for you to remember your power, so that you never dim your light and go within and shut down and hide and play small ever again. You are not a victim. You are not powerless. And thank this experience for reminding you of that. And as soon as you get it, it's going to change. You're going to see. You're going to see the gift that this opportunity presented to you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Very good. We love you, our friend. Thank you for your question. Our next question, are you there? Hello, our friend.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. This is John. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, John. What is your question?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I thank you so much. I am so blessed by all the guidance I've received each day from you and others. I feel more blessed each day. I don't know, I was inspired 18 months ago to step outside and build a multi-dimensional rock garden along a half a city block long stretch of the neighborhood bike path and trail. And I have carried rocks and made designs and stacks and hearts and flowers and out of rock, and I have been blessed so much by people's energy, their smiles, their feedback, and it was 18 months ago, and now with this slowdown that we're going through, this quote-unquote event, more and more people are sharing what they get out of that, and people are dropping off painted rocks with love and messages, and it's turned into like a neighborhood destination in the city, and it's just, I have just, it's that, what was said earlier is just do it for the creative, for your own joy, which I was doing 12 hours a day working out there, and boy, the joy I get is just incredible. It's like listening to those promptings, listening to the inspiration, and and I was always the one in my family that 6 children that was out there, not part of their attached so much to their religion and whatnot. And now one of my younger brothers is now stepping out of that and finding his own awakening, I guess, and it's fun, and I just I feel, and he's called me and said he's so thankful that he has somebody to talk to understand, and it's difficult sometimes not to say, hey, you should do this or you should do that. It's just like you say, just be there and share the love and the joy, and I'm just so thankful. I guess I really don't have a question other than than expression of gratitude.
Indeed. It is perfect, our friend. We truly recognize you as the master that you are of your human experience, and what a perfect creation. Through ease and joy, an inspiration created with pure, impeccable innocence in the highest and good of all. This is what we mean by mastering impeccable creative expression dedicated to the highest good of all. Here is the absolute reality of that, and it's possible for your life. In fact, when you want to serve and you're doing it with some sort of agenda, it always limits it. You create it through your innocence, inspiration, pure joy, not knowing why you are creating it, not knowing who would appreciate it. This is true creation. No agenda, just creating it for the pure joy and beauty that has inspired you. Not creating it so it will sell 1 million copies of a book. Not creating it so it'll get lots of likes. Not creating it so you can sell it for lots of money. Not creating it so that it'll be the next masterpiece. Creating it from a pure innocence. And look how much joy, how much good, how much love, how much appreciation comes from just allowing yourself to master and practice impeccable creative expression through pure joy, through pure harmony. Following inspiration, let the light guide the way. It is perfect, our friend. We honor you. We thank you. We love you. What a perfect way to wrap up this incredible conversation and collective vibrational experience with the most beautiful example of being and allowing all things to be done through you. And so it is. Really good. We have enjoyed this conversation with you all so very much. We are always with you. We are always available to you. We love you. We love you. We love you. And with that, we are complete.